I experienced a lot of violence inside of my childhood. And for me, in that experience, I learned how to stuff.
Yeah.
So there was no completing that cycle, right?
There's nothing you could complete. As a kid, there's violence happening to you. You can't say no and
Yeah.
have it stop it. You
Yeah.
can't fight back. So you're like really,
And if you have any responses,
it gets worse.
it gets worse. So what you learn to do is you learn to not only swallow the energy or the experience that you're having, but then you also learn how to disengage your body altogether. So now I've swallowed those emotions, those experiences, the energy. It's overtaken my whole body and it's just locked down inside of me. So you talked about the lady who couldn't actually, she needed him to say, hey, there's a tiger. And then she got to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there was no tiger in the room that I could run from.
Yeah.
So I swallowed it. And then I ended up at one point saying, I'm basically tired of feeling the pain that I'm feeling physically inside of this. So I won't feel pain ever again. And I won't display my pain ever again in tears. And so in that moment, I separated from myself and my body. The problem with that is on a couple different levels. One, our body, like when we dissociate from our body tells us a lot about our health issues, right? So first it might be like, oh, I have pain in my ankle. I need to go wrap my ankle and take care of my ankle.
Yes.
But when we dissociate heavily enough, and there are many of us that do that, we're not even aware that, like, I remember,
Our ankle is hurting.
right? I had a friend that went into a doctor and they're like, you have a fractured arm. And they're like, yeah, I didn't notice it. They're like, you should have a lot of pain. I don't think I have pain. But they were dissociated from their body. It wasn't that the pain wasn't there. They weren't connected in enough to even notice it. And so there's one, the body is going to tell you about it so it gets taken care of really well. Then there's the other side where our body...
Which, can I just mention, there's actually a disease where you can't feel pain in your body and it's dangerous for people.
Yeah.
Like I think all of us think, sign me up for that. I want to not feel pain.
Right.
But it's dangerous because you could have your hand on a fire and it could be burning through your hand and you wouldn't know because you couldn't feel the pain of it.
Yeah.
And and then your hand could get infected and amputated and you wouldn't even, like, you get frostbite and not even know it's cold. So pain actually is a very good indicator of, hey, there's something that needs attention.
Right. So there was years of me pushing through apparently a whole lot of different physical symptoms that my body was saying this needs to be taken care of. And then all of a sudden I have really big problems that I'm running into and like, oh, but my body had signs all along the way, but my brain was dissociated from the reality of those signs. Then you have the emotional side of stuff, which is your body is responding in the moment of something that doesn't feel good, doesn't feel safe, feels off. And when you're not connected to that, you're forced to then live out of a place of logic and shoulds and rules. And what I mean by that is that, say you're treating me in a poor manner, I'm like, what is the right logical response to this? Not what does my body have to say? My body might be saying, this doesn't feel safe. I don't want to participate any longer in this moment. I don't have capacity. But my brain's trying to logic a bunch of things through so I can get to an answer.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to me, in my childhood, I learned how to disconnect in that way. Then, there was somebody in my childhood that perpetrated the violence and another individual that would say, you need to go give that person a hug afterwards and you need to say you're sorry and you need to tell that person that you love them.
Oof.
So my body already had gone through an experience with that person that was painful.
Now, if we're talking about the instinctual response, you would instinctively want to block, run away, or fight back.
Correct.
Your body would never want to stay and then love, embrace, and be warm. That is not what a body instinctual response would be for that situation.
Yeah. So I remember this happened uncountable number of times. Reluctantly going up to this individual, giving this person a hug. I'm sorry. I love you. And when I wasn't necessarily aware of it then, but when I reflect now, I remember this tightness that would come up inside of my chest. My muscles would lock up inside of my arms. And my whole body was saying, this is not only unsafe, but this is unjust. I don't want to be doing this. I shouldn't have to be doing this. And this is being demanded of me.
Yes.
And I remember that happened a lot with my grandma, where I was required to go do that with my grandma, who was a very not fun human being as well, and a few other individuals. Like it was always abandon yourself, take ownership as a little kid for those people's emotions or their reactions that were painful and destructive, and abandon yourself.
Yeah.
So I have this whole childhood of learning how to abandon myself, and ultimately I grow up and I find myself not sure of how to respond to a lot of things, and always asking the question, what is the right way to respond?
Yeah. And what am I allowed to do?
Yeah, what am I allowed to do? Am I allowed to say no? Stop this. This isn't okay. I don't like this. I don't want this. The sense of autonomy, me as a human, my autonomy was massively violated as a child over and over again.
Meaning your sense of ability to choose, your ability to know what you want, your ability to have a voice, your ability to set boundaries.
To set boundaries around my body and around the experience that I was having to, again, express what I wanted, what I needed. I didn't, it's almost like when you don't have autonomy, you don't exist.
Yeah.
Like you just morph into the other people around you and become what is necessary for their emotional state. So I end up, I've gone through all kinds of counseling, but I end up going into SE counseling, somatic experience counseling, with Judy. Shout out to Judy. And it was fascinating from the get-go. One of the things that she had me do is have me lay on a table, and she would begin a process of asking if it would be okay if she could touch, is it okay if I touch a part of your head up there? Yes. What are you noticing? Oh, what do you mean? What am I noticing? Your hand's on my head. What do you notice under my hand? Nothing. There's nothing there. Your hand's on my head. There's nothing. and she had to begin to help equip me with language, because this was, I felt when I started doing this, very angry at Judy. I wanted to scream and yell at Judy because I felt like she was asking me to do the impossible. Yeah. Can you describe the sensation that you're feeling under my hand? What sensation?
There's no sensations. I feel nothing. I'm disconnected from my body.
And she'd be like, do you notice any warmth, or does it feel cold? Let's start there. Feels hot. Okay, it feels hot. And she'd be like, no sensation is okay too. And there was no shaming ever.
Totally.
It was like, let's just explore this. And I noticed as it evolved, she'd be like, say she would have her hand on my chest here. She'd be like, what are you noticing besides my hand on your chest? I feel a tightness. Okay, tightness is a sensation. Let's go on that. I feel... And then all of a sudden I start noticing I have anxiety about her having her hand on my chest, because I can feel a tightening or a pulling or a react. And I'm like, my body has a language. Our bodies have a language that we have to learn. And it's very foreign to us, but it's always talking. And so right now, as I'm trying to describe all this, I can feel a bit of an anxiety right here in my sternum, where I'm holding part of my breath, not breathing as deep, because I'm trying to figure out how to describe all these concepts. Yeah. And I feel a level of anxiety
about being able to describe it
well. To describe the experience well. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that before.
Yeah, totally.
I would have just been like, I don't know, I was doing fine. So one of the practices she began to do with me is she was like, I want you to push my hand off your chest and say, I don't want this here.
Yeah.
Take your hand away. And I was like, I realized I felt like I was a horrible person.
Yes.
I can't do that. That's so mean.
Because your body was programmed at such a young age that
Right.
you weren't allowed to say what you didn't want happening to your body.
So I said, Judy, could you please take your hand off my body? She's like, no, tell me to take my hand off your body. It is your right as an autonomous being. You don't have to ask nicely. You can tell me exactly what it is that you want to happen right now on this, because I am in your space.
Yes.
And I was like, take your hand off my body, Judy. And what it began to do was complete that cycle. All of a sudden, I'm having dozens, if not through the many times I've been with her, hundreds of moments where I'm in my history. I'm
your childhood.
experiencing a touch that feels violating or violent in some way, or violating my autonomy, whatever it happens to be. And I'm seeing it and I'm saying, take your hand off my head. I don't want your hand on my neck. Take your hand away right now. This doesn't feel good. And
part of the instinctual response is even just getting to say no.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Yeah. So I'm having the voice that's getting to do it. And then even moments where I'm taking her hand and saying, here, out here, don't want it. Take it away from me. And I feel the movement go through my body, through my arm as I'm grabbing her hand and putting it. And then I'm feeling a relief hit me. Because I'm like, oh my God, I needed to do that 100 different times, 1,000 different times I needed to be able to do that. And I feel a relief in my body every time I say, take your hand away. Don't do that. I don't like that. And a lot of times I found in the violation, me in my journey to try and stop a violation, I felt like I needed to explain myself.
Right.
Oh, please don't do that. That doesn't work for me because da 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 da. And she was like, why are you explaining? Stop explaining. Your body has told you that it doesn't want this experience. And you don't have to explain yourself. But I don't have to explain myself. And again, as these actions are happening, and I'm not having to explain what I need.
Well, you're not having to defend what you need.
Exactly.
You're not having to justify what you need. And how is she responding when you are doing that?
Every time there's a celebration, I'm so proud of you. That was so good. You were right to do that. You know your body. You know what your knower knows. Your body knows what it needs, and so she was reaffirming the right that I had as an autonomous being to do that, and how it was good. And I found myself, excuse me, session after session, sob crying at the feeling of relief that was washing over me, because now there was something getting completed on an emotional level and on a physical level.